Now we are recording.
Okay, so there, we have this, we're going to try out this makefile, jakefile approach to contract deployment that makes up for the issue where it's hard to know what the registry URI is until you've deployed something into the registry. That's been a developer experience problem with rholang for a little while here. So if you want to share your screen and go to the Liquid Democracy repository.
Okay.
So
if I remember correctly, there should be a DevTools branch here.
Yes, the DevTools branch of Liquid Democracy.
Uh-oh, it's gone.
No, that's RV 2020. We want to be in Liquid Democracy.
Oh, geez. I see RChain community, and I think that I'm in community. Liquid Democracy.
There you go.
Okay. And we look at DevTools.
And I want you to go to the contributing file.
Contributing.
About the fourth one on your screen. Oh, you scrolled past it. There you go, to see. All right, now I want to know if you can, what happens if you try to take it from here?
Okay, well, I guess the first thing I have to do is I have to clone the repository.
Yep.
So I copy that and I go to, and I do a git clone. This. Oh. CD. I should have known I already had that out. So I just do a git pull. I guess to get the latest stuff. And I mean, that was a practice that we always used in business, was first thing you do is a pull.
Yep.
And then we have to do a git checkout. Dev tools.
Yep.
Okay, I'm in business now. I do a npm install and an npx jake. npx. That's vaguely familiar. What is endpoint X? Oops.
Oh, if you go back to the contributing file, you see the paragraph underneath the second heading?
Yeah. Jake is a JavaScript tool built for Node.js, much like Make. Recall that npx is a mechanism for launching executables in npm project dependencies, i.e. node modules.bin. Aha. I knew about that bin was in there somewhere, but I didn't know that. So I'm learning this. So did I copy it? I don't even know. Edit copy. I suppose. So I pasted both lines, but I didn't hit enter for the second line. I'll wait and just see what happens with the install. So it works. So now I can hit return to the npx check. Uh-oh. Docker compose not found. How could that happen?
That's a good failure mode to discover.
Install Docker compose. Oops.
Traditionally spelled with an M. Yeah, computers are picky.
Those. And how about if I do a sudo for that? And with the old Unix programs, the capital Y there means it's a default. It's like Docker composes in Python. Huh?
Yeah.
Okay. npm jake. No Docker daemon running.
So if you do Docker space, okay.
Sudo what Docker space.
I was going to do Docker PS without the sudo,
Oh,
which will probably tell you roughly the same thing, but it might tell us that Docker's completely not installed.
oh, it's got to be there.
Anyway, just try Docker PS. Docker space PS.
Docker process status.
Okay, so yeah, you need the sudo service Docker start or something like that. I think it's service Docker start. There are other ways to get the same effect, but I think they all start with either service or system control.
Right.
Start, yeah. This is what I've done in recent. Okay, I think that now do Docker PS. Oh, you're not in the Docker group. Try sudo Docker PS. Okay, not.
I could do.
The Docker Compose stuff kind of expects that you're in the Docker group.
Okay, so I have to do add group.
I think it's user mod minus. I would. Yeah, try user mod. I'm pretty sure there's no such thing. It's user mod.
Well, in case of sudo. Let me just go to root. User mod.
Yeah. And then, yeah. User mod, it's.
And I know. I think if you do, you can also do this. I think it's we can just add user add group.
Oh, today I learned.
So add.
Oh, no, that's for creating a group, I'm pretty sure. Oh, there we go. Add user group. Add existing to user to. Okay, there we go. So
Just add user. Who am I, Jim?
okay, now you have to log out.
Go back to Jim. Okay, and now
this shell is not good enough, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, you can try Docker PS without it, but yeah, you have to log out and log in order for that add user to take effect, I'm pretty sure.
Right. So I guess I'll just.
Yeah, you can start a new one or something. Now you can try Docker PS.
Where am I going in? I'm going to
Liquid Democracy was the repository.
and then
Try Docker PS to make sure that that we that our system is, okay. Yeah, now you can try the step 2 of the, which was npx jake.
npx jake. So the jake command is in the .bin there, apparently.
Yeah, there.
The jake is in.
You can also, yeah, there's, I've been told that I shouldn't have to use npx or something like that, but this is the way I've been doing it.
Right. If you put the .bin in your, I mean, I've done that before when I put the .bin into my
path, yeah, that'll work too. Oh, so back to the, let's, that's a new one on me.
Shall we continue this later?
Yeah. Okay, so we're losing at the Docker level. Anyway, if you want to go back to the contributing file. We'll just talk through this a little bit. So if
what
you
about -t? Do you need that?
You can do that. You can do npx jake -t. You should see pretty much what, that just shows you the different things you can run. Yeah. I have not taught this system to like deploy to testnet or some other node that's already running.
Well, for now, I mean, for development, you probably don't want to do that.
Right, right.
But definitely at some point, we do want to do that.
Right. But I mean, you might happen to have a node hanging around that would be good to use and you want to use it. But I don't have support for that yet. Anyway, okay, so back to the contributing file real quick. So yeah, that's like, I guess, I don't know if make -t does something similar. Yeah, the node needs all kinds of configuration and stuff, so I doubt just typing our node is going to give you something usable. I can talk to you through the rest of the contributing file though.
So,
right, okay. So jake -t tells us the targets.
Right.
And the targets are, the default is kind of run everything. Start shard is try to do all that Docker compose stuff, which we were losing.
Right.
The Jake row modules inbox.json deploys the inbox.row, and likewise, you know, directory.row. Community.row has got a pointer to directory.row. We'll see more about that. Start shard with Docker compose is the stuff we're losing at. I'm going to skip over that. Oh, by the way, if you're ever like mostly winning, scroll up just a teeny bit there. You might get error, could not visualize Casper, was not available yet. You have to wait until the Casper is ready, and it'll say multiple parent Casper instance created in the logs.
Sweet.
Okay. All right. So you might recall, Jim, that we have a dependency on from the community contract to the directory contract. And the way, and it was always the question, okay, so what registry URI do I stick in community.row, right? So what you put in there is this match import directory.row, and then you put the start of a registry URI, and then you just leave those ... alone. And then this jakefile stuff, when it deploys directory, it saves the URI, and then it actually substitutes it in there when it deploys the community.row. So we'll see that more.
So you're using this syntax?
Well, that's in the jake file. That's Jake's.
This is the jake file.
Right. And then the part below is in the rholang bit.
Okay, this thing, I saw this, and this looks wrong. Why did you make it valid rholang?
So that I can use rholang development tools?
So, well, what? Okay, if this. Are you actually put this in here? Row ID dot dot dot? No.
Yeah, and you can put anything for the dot, dot, dot. So if you happen to have a registry URI that's working for 5 minutes, you can keep it there.
Okay. But this will update it if it's updated.
Yeah.
Does it actually update the file? Or?
No, it doesn't change the file. So it, you know, you don't have to, it won't cause problems with your version control. So if we scroll down, we can see what we were supposed to get when we win. In this case, the shard is already running, so it doesn't really show you the, well, all it does is pause when it's running. Anyway, so this is the case when the Docker Compose stuff is already up. The boot node, the Docker Compose stuff makes 2 nodes, a boot node and a read-only node. And then there's a note that reminds us that it would be nice if the software automatically made sure that the Casper instance was running. Okay, so it took a half a second to make sure the shard was up. And then it creates a directory called row modules. And now it's going to try to get the inbox information. So it discovers that inbox.row doesn't have any dependencies. It has 0 dependencies. And we're going to resolve all the dependencies in there, and that's a no op. And so then it takes inbox.row with 0 dependencies, and it gives you the first few characters of that contract. Then there's the 127.0.0.1.4.1.413 is the node that it's going to deploy to, and the after is the valid after block number, and then the signature is the result of signing all that, and then it does a deploy, and then the @ signs are as it's waiting to get the registry URI back. And then you can see the start of the registry URI. If you scroll, you can probably see the rest of it there.
And why is this here 4 times?
Well, these things take time. Well, that and I used to have zillions of lines of debug, right? Now this is what I thought was a useful amount of diagnostics.
So that you're just showing you each step of the process while it's doing it.
Right. So the first step you do is you go get the valid after block number. So it pauses before it goes to get the valid after block number, and so on. You know, it tells you that that first line that you've got highlighted tells me I'm about to go get the valid after block number from 404.13 on 127.0.0.1. You know, I'm going to go get a recent block number. So it automatically does that. So then it says, okay, I finished deploying inbox.json. Now I'm going to do directory. Likewise, it doesn't have any dependencies. I go get the valid after block number. Hey, look, there's a new block. So now I'm after block number 10. I deploy it. I have to wait 2 times, and then I get a URI. Finished directory, and now I'm starting community.json. Ooh, that one's got 1 dependency. I'm going to resolve the source of community.row. I discover that it depends on row modules directory.json. And if you look in row modules directory.json, you'll see all kinds of stuff. But the interesting thing is the directory URI. And so it pulls that out and prints it for you. And then now it has the complete rholang that it's going to deploy. And so it deploys that having resolved 1 dependency, goes and gets the valid after block number, signs it, waits does the, get the data at name, saves the JSON information that it got, and you're all done.
All right. That's reasonable. Now, what's the issue that I'm having here? It's looking for a manifest.
Try Docker Compose space.
So try Docker.
envoy, I can't understand how that's relevant. Try docker compose space pull. Docker dash compose space pull. Oh, I know what the problem is. We're in the wrong directory, first of all. Okay, cd to docker dash shard. Well, before you do that, do a ls minus l on docker dash shard. This is documented in that contributing file okay, so this thing thinks you have a rnode client.js. So cd to // rnode client.js. You probably do have it, but it might be like ages old or something. Now git pull. Okay, now do docker dash compose space pull. This is where all the Docker action happens, is inside this directory.
So I stay here?
Yeah. Yeah.
Docker
dash compose space pull. That is the right stuff. 0.9.25.2 is what I've seen recently. Yeah, I think Envoy was I hope that's irrelevant. I hope it doesn't try to get Envoy.
Well, we used to need it for our new, right? So it's, who knows?
It might be a matter of checking out a different branch in this repository. These are brand new bits. But I think I'm just using the master branch here. Yeah, okay, we win there. Now do docker compose space up space minus D.
Up?
Yep.
-D?
Uh-huh.
Shouldn't I just do the Jake again?
You could, but we're looking under the covers a little bit here. But in particular, now do docker compose logs minus F. This is the manual waiting part.
Logs forever.
Yeah, okay. So we're looking for multi-parent Casper something started. And it should probably come from boot. Boot is the bootstrap validator node and read is the observer node.
So we could process the tail of this.
Well, there's a file called rnode.log, yeah. That, yeah, there's some way to wait until this shows up. Well, I mean, you just use the command that you're using right now.
Right. Well, that's true. I mean, if you wanted to use it in JavaScript, you use the tail library.
Yeah, minus T is to get the tail.
This is dash F.
Maybe we were already winning. I don't think so. I think it takes about a minute, but hit Control C here and let's go back and try the npx jake and see what symptoms we get now.
says approved block not found, so it didn't win.
Yeah, I think we're going to lose, but let's do it anyway.
What are we doing?
CD to / liquid democracy. Oh, today I learned npx jake. Right. So you got further. It's supposed to take around a minute, I think, to start up. Oh, but you can, no, you can't. Okay, you don't.
So the Docker Compose is over there, so this won't work here, right?
Right. Yeah, I usually have 2 windows open. And remember that this shell doesn't have the magic powers to do Docker, right?
Right. Oh yeah.
But it can do npx jake. No, it can't, because Jake is going to try to do Docker.
How do I usually do that? I mean, there's the old dot tilde / dot or
I'm pretty sure
/ profile.
it's not a matter of environment variables.
Yeah, it's not an environment variable. It's a group membership, and
it's weird because if you type groups now, it'll show that you're in the right group, I think, but it won't really work. I'm pretty sure you have to log out.
If I do a new group Docker, it will.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Your bash foo is superior to mine, evidently. Try Docker PS now. Oh, you're winning. So now you can go into you can cd to docker-shard from here, because it's symlinked to the right thing. There's a repository called Docker shard that I want to use, but for now, I'm just using the rnode client thing. Docker-shard, yeah.
It's not finding it.
Oh, you're already in the right thing. Sorry. You can do docker-compose logs -f.
Oops.
Logs -f. There you go, and you can have that sort of at the top of the screen.
Okay.
Or something, and then you
can, no approved block. Self-proving Genesis block. Still going, huh? I guess it had to go through. It has to go through the whole Genesis ceremony, huh?
Yeah. I thought it took about a minute.
Valid approved block received. It's close. Might even work. But I'm waiting for something else. The Casper started, right?
I don't know. Try the npx jake window again. I'm impatient.
it says, but I mean, that's basically what we wait for is approved block.
Okay, same symptoms.
Casper instance was not yet available. So
I don't know why this is taking longer on your machine. Maybe because you're running Zoom at the same time? I don't know.
Ooh, what was that? What's the
Something's working very hard.
I got
I'm at T-3, by the way. Oh,
no.
be right back.
We have a Java process using 4 CPUs, 336% CPU. This says it's got 8 processes waiting for service. Normal.
That was interesting. I don't remember my phone ever making that noise before. All right, well, I gotta go.
All right, Guy. I'm going to still, it looks like it's decreasing here. We had almost 4 CPUs here. We're down to using 1 CPU. And we still couldn't go. Way to pause the recording. I've waited a long time here. I'm resuming recording. And it again says valid approval block received. And then I started the the npx jake, and it seems to be running. I don't know. I'm not sure what it's doing here. Whoops. What do I do? I hope I didn't kill it. So let's see. Where was I? Huh. So we're in the DevTools section here. And we're in the contributing.md. So we did the npm install and the npm jake. npx jake. The npx jake-t gave us some usage information. We could deploy one thing at a time, but I guess we're trying to deploy everything. Okay, then we have to start shard here, which should be automatic, but it takes forever, so it's going to die the first time. And then eventually it's going to work. And this says it's finished. Which means it deployed these 3 files. Now, I don't see any indication here that it deployed those files. In the logs. You want to try it, Theo?
Did he rewrite his makefile to Jake? Basically,
I'm sorry?
I remember he had some terrible makefiles that does some magic with deploying and stuff. Is this the one?
Yes.
Okay.
This fills in the URIs. So when you change a contract and it gets a different URI, it changes.
Nice.
So, you know, when you're doing development, you should just basically run Jake, and it should make everything. Okay, the problem I see here is, well, I don't have any evidence that it did all 3 of these, that it did any of these. So, and it works in 2 different directories. Oh, what was that? It looks like it was stuck. Okay, so it did do deploys. Okay, so apparently it worked. There's something stuck about my log printout here. So, so when you do this, it starts your shard, your validator node, and that took a lot of time. So then it died, and eventually I repeated the command npxjake, and it did everything. Now, if I do an npxjake now, It shouldn't do anything because everything's done. I didn't change anything. Everything's up to date. Now, if I make some change, then now how about what happens if I do a npxj test log .row? I wonder if it'll do anything. Nope, did nothing. So what would be let me do it. Look at see what commands I have in package.json. None. Scripts, lint fix, lint check. That's it. So if I go look at Docker shard, okay, this is actually a symbolic link into the my Arno client directory. And I have this Docker compose.yaml. And I have this boot. Okay, so now I have what's this read? What's you know what this read does?
I don't see it. I can see your screen.
Oh, yeah. So this is the Docker compose.yaml file. And this starts a validator node. Oh, and it takes this jakefile takes care of so much. I mean, it takes care of your private key for your validator and everything. And my question is, what's my command to deploy a file? And I guess I'll wait for Dan.
You want to deploy it to using maybe Raphael's tool sets. He has some scripts that deploy files.
I have
Maybe.
an R node running into Docker. Okay, and it has all my contracts deployed on it. Now I want to run some tests. So I don't know how to run. Now, if I'm going to do deploys against this, I have to, there's certain stuff it goes through. Like first, it has to see what the last block is, so that it knows to put a valid after block, and a few other things. And I'm sure that my expectation is that this framework does that. So if we so there probably should at least be some kind of a script or something that does it. Let's look at, did I check this package? Start node, start build, node generate, clean, node deploy. But he does deploys in his jakefile. Let's look at that again. Okay, so we have deploy here. Interesting. DESC deploy. What does that mean? And why
Just
is
description.
it?
It's like a echo command for debugging probably. This is where it does deploy by starting default task.
Well, I guess I'll wait for the next try deploy. Nope. All right, well, wait for the next thing. Anything you want to go over today, Theo? We look at?
Not really.
Um,
I should probably just continue working on the voting app. Daryl kind of mentions that he wants to make something prettier for the annual meeting. So I suggested using Ionic to make it a lot faster.
doesn't need to be fast. What do you mean?
No, I mean, they can make some nicer UI for everyone to use.
I'm mainly worried about the functionality. I mean, there's a number of things that I put in the shell script that aren't in the JavaScript currently yet. Okay, if we look here, I hope everything. I hope this is up to date. This might not be up to date. Probably isn't. Oh, it's actually up to date. Amazing. Okay, so this script handles the timestamp and the voters file. Okay, so that the vote is not valid if it happens after a certain time, and the vote is not valid if the person isn't registered, if they're not in the voters file.
So you added this functionality to your bash script after then converted to JavaScript.
Exactly. So would you be interested in updating the JavaScript file?
Well, if I can only read bash.
Well, as I was saying, you know, I can read the bash for you and possibly learn some JavaScript. While we're at it, if I suppose I can give it a try, but it's unlikely that I'll get very far. So,
Do you know which lines you added? Do you have like a diff? Do you have a diff between the old one and the new one?
Well, I don't know. I mean, will GitHub do that for us? I don't know if we could just pick two versions and so How do we?
I think you can show the diff in Visual Studio Code.
I'm sorry.
You can probably show a diff between two files in Visual Studio Code and see exactly what changed.
This is not the right one. I don't know what you mean. How do I
Hold on.
how do I get the diff of, if I want to get a diff of something from several days ago? I mean, if I hit code, okay, and then I hit Jim Scarver patch 1. I think this, it may have been, I don't know if this is incorporated or not. Branches 3 commits ahead of it. Compare, right? That's what we do. There's something else. This is not an old enough version here. How do we set this to an older version? Is this one, that isn't showing all the changes? There's a, it only shows the changes in the last commit.
Well, if you have both files on your PC, you can probably just see the difference.
So, well, if I look at the file, okay, source, web, okay. Oh, this is
And you
5
just
days ago.
download
Right here it's 5.
and download the tally shell script from 5 days ago. The one that Dan ported.
Oh, yeah, that's this one. Yes. This is from 7 hours ago. But I should be able to do history. Okay, so oldest first rather than newest first. And remove the use of files. Okay, so this one should be good here. How do I? Do I just click on this? interesting.
No, go back.
Go back.
Select the most right button. Yep. And now download or go to this file.
Now, where are the differences? Aren't we looking at the differences already?
No, just download show the tally file again now. Now press the row button to show the row content. And now you can copy and paste it to a new file.
So,
You can place it side by side by the new one, just to make it easier.
so we don't need to see this. Oops, aborting. I was just doing the log. Okay. So I'm in on applying here. Oh, where do I want to be? I want to be in RV. RV 2020. Source. Web. And VI. I'll just tally old. .sh. Not that I have to give it a name, I don't have to save it. Oh, yes, I do. I need to do a diff, so I have to save it. Undo, so I have to do set paste. Okay, so we could just look at them side by side. True. We could do or we could look at differences. What do you want to do?
Can you open both files in Visual Studio Code?
I'm
Or at
sorry?
least one of them? Can you open the folder in Visual Studio Code?
Yeah.
Okay, now if you go to File tab on the left,
Okay, I got these three open now.
okay, good. Go to File tab. Yeah, open it. No, not the tab, the icon. Yeah. Okay, now open editors. Unfold it. Yeah, and then click on tally.sh. No, just right click. And then select for compare. And then right click the second one, the old one. And then compare with selected. No, compare with the other button.
Wrong.
I think you can open both the same file.
No.
Yeah, close this one. You need to again select the like one file and then yeah, right click, select for compare. Yes, the last one, yeah. And then second file, compare with selected. There we go. I think we should do it the other way around. Yeah, okay, close this one. We should probably start with. Okay, right click the tally alt, select for compare, then tally.sh. No, now you're comparing with JS file.
So, valid file, he didn't have that. Okay, maybe a valid file we had. Voter file we didn't have. Okay, yeah, this is. So we have the voter file and timestamp. Now the voter file we probably should get from the URI. As well, okay, so are you looking at the JavaScript file?
I'm trying to look at the bash file and trying to make sense of it. Is this the correct old version that then converted?
It looks like it's a correct old version, yes. That's basically the version we can.
So what is the waters file now?
What is the what?
Waters file that you added.
The what file?
Oh, you have something like voters file on top. Like I'm looking at the first change.
Oh, voters file. The voters file is I don't know what this is. Explore. That's the ballot. And this should be the voters. What did I do wrong? Usage. Undo. Undo. Answer panel. Right, that should be the voters. So the voters is a list, and it gets that. I mean, it's going to have some ID. This is where it is currently, but of course, every time we upload a new list to their net, it's going to assign a new one, a new URI. And hopefully jakefile can help us supply that. But in the meantime, we're going to have like some URI that we're going to use to get the voter list. And this one, the second URI in explore.sh is voters. Okay, so I just put these out to a flat file. And you can see how I did that here. I just collected the voters, everyone who voted. And then I have this last command here, just commented out that that takes a list of voters and makes it a list, a JSON list. But basically, we assume that Ian has finalized the list and has given it to us, and we've stored it at some URI. Okay?
Mm-hmm. Sort of.
Okay, and but no. Okay, and the timestamp we're gonna have to give as an argument. Maybe we'll give a block number here, and we'll get the timestamp off that block. I don't know. Do you know how we make a timestamp?
No clue.
We have is it milliseconds? Or is it nanoseconds? So we do this. I get this. And if I do this, and I get the it's funny. You don't see everything. Oh, this is the wrong. This is the wrong swagger. This is the right swagger. um, I get one timestamp. Yep, it's the same. So so the timestamp is the current timestamp is this. So my default timestamp should be that.
Should we actually rely on the OS timestamp? We should just fetch the latest block and check timestamp there.
Well, this is the current time. So if it's before the current time, it's valid vote. Right?
Yeah, but
It's
how
gonna be very
reliable
close
is
to the
it?
timestamp of the last block. Doesn't, you know, it's, I mean, as a default. Now, actually, the voting is going to end at some specific time, and then we're going to do the tally. So we'll pass a third argument here. We won't use the default. Right. You know, for the purposes of the JavaScript file, the default could just be some huge number. Right. All the votes are valid unless you give a cutoff time. Okay, so what is this? Why is this? Not, oh, there we go. So Okay, so I added a debug mode here. You can ignore that. But basically, a colon command is do nothing command. Whereas echo is pronounced. So if you set the debug to colon, it doesn't pronounce the debug messages. I got tired of commenting them out and putting them in again. The server is the same. Okay, this stuff is all the same, right? It gets the thing, and then the last block we're not using anymore. We're using the timestamp.
And then there is this line 17. So what changed on line 17 or 20?
It doesn't really look like
where you count yes votes.
where's my bar? Why is this? I don't have a scroll bar here anymore. I have a scroll bar way down there. Huh? Oh. Okay, here I throw out anything greater than the timestamp, or I select only things less than the timestamp. Okay, so in tally.js, oh, he doesn't even read these off the blockchain. Huh? That's another thing that has to be done eventually. So I mean, you can do the same thing here. You just read the voters. So what's this here?
Scroll down.
URL is what? He didn't include a URL anymore. You know what? Have any idea what this does to cache? Oh, URL here. To cache is defined as comma cache / URL.
Doesn't look like the exact version that I watched him write.
So this is, he's getting the last 20 characters.
How old is this file?
5 days.
Yeah, I don't remember this exact caching stuff that he wrote.
But he's going to save stuff in the .cache directory. So when he gets a URL, he's going to save it in there, is you use the last 20 characters as the name of the file. Doesn't make sense. Is that slice minus 20? Is that the last 20 characters? Which URL, which curl? It's curl, okay. Run tests. So refile gets all the ballot data. And if it's test mode, then it runs the test. Else, if it says cache, 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 then it uses the cache. It doesn't bother to make requests from our node, from our node or the transaction server. And then he defines caching curl. And if it's test mode, it's going to use the caching curl instead of the normal curl. And this is an example of how if you use object capabilities, you don't have any ambient capabilities, you can control how something is done, because you don't have the lower level routines called the curl directly, basically passing which curl to them, to the tally function, which is either caching or otherwise. And if you didn't pass a curl to it, it shouldn't actually have one. Curl from cache. Oh boy. So we're at the end of the hour here. The question is, what do we want to do? You want to spend a little time, go over all these changes?
I think if you show the exact changes to Dan in this diff, it will be a lot easier.
If what?
Like, so he will know what needs to change, so it will work with timestamps and stuff. I mean, for him, it's probably like 20 minutes of work. For me, it's probably understanding how everything works, and like it could take a couple of hours.
The main things are instead of getting every vote, we only count the votes that have a timestamp. And
Are you iterating through deploys?
I don't understand this. 96, 27. This doesn't look right. That's because I'm not looking at the beginning lines. Oh well. Okay, we'll call it a day. I don't know. I may try to see if I can make the updates at some point. I guess I would certainly, I might learn some JavaScript that way. Although this is only halfway there, and it's not getting the valid off the chain. It's not getting the members off the chain. All right.
Oh, should the UI be done after the changes?
Yeah, I
Because
think
it may be a lot harder making all the changes if you already have like UI.
yeah.
I mean, if someone like Daryl kind of made a fancy UIs and had to rewrite everything to account for timestamps and all the stuff.
Yeah, I think now if we get the functionality right, then it should be pretty easy to make the interface connected to the interface. I don't know. Really. But I would think that we want to prove the concept that it's correct. And this has a built-in test program, so you know. We should be able to, you know, as we change the interface, make sure it still works.
Oh, you can also unit testing with the interface.
I don't know. All right, good to see you, and I guess we'll call it a day. See you guys.
Okay, bye.